Dear students, good morning to you. Welcome to the today's class. I hope all of you and your families are staying safe and well during this challenging time. First, I am going to do the myself introduction to you. My name is Narasimha, working as a physics lecturer in Government PU College, Hiriyadka, Udupi District. Sarkari Padvi Purva College, Hiriyadka, ಉಡುಪಿ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಭೌತಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಕನಾಗಿ ಕರ್ತವ್ಯ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಟ್ರೈ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್. ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಎಂದರೇನು? ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್? ಭೌತಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಎಂದರೇನು? ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಬ್ರಾಡರ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೀಮ್. ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ವಿಭಾಗದ ಒಂದು ವಿಶಾಲವಾದ ವಿಷಯವೇ ಭೌತಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ. ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಆಫ್ ನೇಚರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಫಿನೋಮಿನನ್ಸ್. ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೈಸರ್ಗಿಕವಾಗಿ ಆಗುಹೋಗುವಂಥ ವಿದ್ಯಮಾನಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯವೇ ಭೌತಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದಿ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಫಿನೋಮಿನನ್ ಅಕರಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಯೂನಿವರ್ಸ್? ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ರೈನ್ಬೋ, occurrence of an eclipse, occurrence of day and night, falling of an apple from the tree, orbiting of moon round the earth, orbiting of planet round the sun, flow of water from up to down, flow of heat from high temperature to low temperature. These are all the what students? Naturally occurring phenomena. Because no one has an authority to stop this. ಯಾರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸುವಂಥ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಇಲ್ಲ. The study of these real facts, the study of these real facts is known as physics. In physics, we study these real facts. Therefore, we can say that physics is the study of real facts. Got it? Physics is the what? Study of real fact. Or physics is the study of nature. Study of nature. Or study of nature and natural phenomenon. Nature and natural phenomenon is nothing but what? Physics. See, that is physics is study of real facts. I said that physics is study of real facts. Why? Because the study of the physics based on some basic laws, experiments, measurements, mathematical analysis. Finally, we reach the what student? An accurate result. Naija Sangati. Got it? Therefore, physics is the study of what? Real facts. Further, physics classified into what? Two classes. Broadly, physics subject is classified into what? Two classes. One is known as classical physics. One is known as what? Classical physics. Classical physics. So, one is called classical physics and second one is what student? Modern physics. Second one is what? Modern physics. So, what do you mean by classical physics? What is meant by classical physics? What is meant by classical dance? Or what is meant by classical music? A music or a dance pattern came from the centuries of years, isn't it? That is old pattern of dance or old pattern of music. Similarly, a old physics, this old view of physics is called classical. Means old view means you may ask it out once again, sir, from which, isn't it? That is physics prior to 1890. 1890ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಭೌತಶಾಸ್ತ್ರವನ್ನು we are taken as what? Classical physics. In classical physics, we study the Newton's theory, Archimedes principle, Galilean theory, etc. Got it? That is called classical physics. What about modern physics? In Kannada, ಆಧುನಿಕ ಭೌತ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಅಥವಾ ಆಧುನಿಕ ಭೌತಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ. That is called what? Modern physics. So, what is modern physics? That is the physics after 1890. Physics after 1890, that is called what? Modern physics. Is known as what? Modern physics. That is discovery of an X-ray, radioactivity, study of semiconductors, These are all involved in what? In our modern physics. In our what? Modern physics. Got it? Okay, students, you might already have been learned about what is physics, scope of physics, importance of physics, some of the important discoveries in physics, isn't it? ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನೀವು ಇದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. I hope that you might already have been learned about this in our first chapter of part 1 textbook of part 1 textbook of physics in first year PUC. Isn't it known as physical world? That is called ಭೌತ ಜಗತ್ತು. ಭೌತ ಜಗತ್ತು ಈ ಪಾಠದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ಅವರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೆಜರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಮಾನಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಅಳತೆಗಳು. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್. ಅವರ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್. ನೌ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ದಿ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಮೋಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಸ್ಟ್ರೈಟ್ ಲೈನ್. ಮೋಷನ್ ಇನ್ ಎ straight line. Motion in a straight line. Motion in a straight line. See, this motion in a straight line is the chapter comes under the branch of the physics known as mechanics. Known as what? Mechanics. So, mechanics. So, what is mechanics? What is mechanics? So, mechanics is the branch of physics. Mechanics is what? Branch of physics. In this branch of physics, we have to study about an object. That is, study of an object. Study of an object. Study of an object is known as what? Mechanics. See, study of an object means that object may be in state of rest. Isn't it? Object ನಿಚ್ಚಲ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲೂ ಇರಬಹುದು. Or that object may be in state of what? Motion. So, mechanics further classified into what? Two classes. If object is at rest, then the study of such events comes under the branch of the mechanics known as what? Statics. Known as what? Statics. So, what is statics? Statics is the branch of mechanics. In this branch of mechanics, we have to study about an object is at rest under the action of force. ಬಲಪ್ರಯೋಗ ಆಗಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ಆ ವಸ್ತು ತನ್ನ ನಿಶ್ಚಲ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಕಾಪಾಡಿಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದರೆ, then study of these type of situations is known as what? Statics. For example, a book placed on a table is at rest. A book placed on a table is at rest means there are two forces are acting. One is the force exerted by the book on the table. Other one is the force exerted by the table on the book. See, the force exerted by the book on the table is in vertically downward. At the same time, force exerted by the table on the book is not vertically upward. We'll study about these two pairs of forces as action and reactions in our chapter number 5th, I think, laws of motion chapter. But book is at rest. So, there are two forces are acting, but book is at rest. The study of this situation comes under the branch is known as what? Statics. Therefore, statics is the branch of mechanics. In this branch of mechanics, we have to study about an object is at rest under the action of a force. Got it? That is, study of object is at rest. Study of object is at rest. Study of object is at rest under the action of force. Under the action of force. Means under the action of forces. So, further mechanics class, see, mechanics given to two classes, right? One is the statics. Second one is what? Dynamics. Another one is what, student? Dynamics. So, what is dynamics? Dynamics is the branch of mechanics. Dynamics is the branch of mechanics. In this branch of mechanics, we have to study about a moving body. ಚಲಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ಸ್ನ ವಿಭಾಗವೇ ಡೈನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್. Got it? That is study of a body is in motion. Is in motion. That is called what? Dynamics. See, further dynamics classified into two categories, students. Correct here. What is dynamics? The study of a body is in motion. For example, a car moving on a road. A car moving on a road means several forces are acting on the car. One is the force due to what? Wind. Other one is the force of friction between the tires of the car and the road. Again, force exerted by the engine of the car. See, these are all the different forces acting on the car when a car is moving on the surface of the road. The study of these type of situations, the study of these type of events comes under the branch of mechanics known as what? Dynamics. Further dynamics classified into what? Two categories. Dynamics further divided into what? Two categories. What are they? One is called kinematics. One is known as kinematics. Kinematics. Other one is what? Kinetics. Other one is what? Kinetics. So what is kinematics? Branch of dynamics. In this branch of dynamics, we have to study about an object is in motion without considering the cause of its motions. Got it? Without considering what? Cause of its motions. ಚಲಿಸುತ್ತಿರೋ ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಧ್ಯಯನ ಮಾಡುವಂಥದ್ದು, ಆದರೆ ಚಲನೆಗೆ ಕಾರಣ ಏನು ಎನ್ನುವುದರ ಕುರಿತವಾಗಿ ನಾವಿಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೂ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. That branch of dynamics is known as student kinematics. So what is kinematics? Branch of dynamics. In this branch of dynamics, we have to study about an object is in motion without considering what? Cause of its motion. Means we are not deal with what made the body to move. See, in kinematics, we are not deal with what made the body to move. Got it? We are studying only about what? Parameters associated with a moving body. That is about velocity, accelerations, speed, displacement. So only we study about these physical quantities associated with the moving body comes under the branch of dynamics is known as what? Kinematics. Next one is what? Kinetics. What is kinetic? The branch of dynamics. It obviously means that study of a body is in motion along with cause of its motions. Along with what, student? Cause of its motions. So now along with what? Cause of its motions. That is branch of the dynamics. In this branch of dynamics, we have to study about an object is in motion along with what? Cause of its motions. The study of the object is in motion along with what? Cause of its motion comes under the branch of the dynamics is known as what? Kinetics. Kinetics. So it is about, student, brief introductions of the chapter motion in a straight line. Got it? First we understood what? Physics. So what is physics? Study of nature and natural phenomena. I started third chapter of the part 2 textbook, motion in a straight line. So motion in a straight line comes under the branch of the physics known as what? Mechanics. That is, mechanics is the study of an object. So object may be at rest or may be in motions. Further, mechanics classified into two classes. That is statics, dynamics. So statics is the branch of the dynamics. In this branch of dynamics, we have to study about an object is at rest under the action of the forces. Got it? Second one is what? Dynamics. Dynamics is the branch of the mechanics. In this branch of mechanics, we have to study about an object is in motions. Further, dynamics classify into what? Two classes. One is known as kinematics and another one is what? Kinetics. So what is kinematics? the branch of dynamics. In this branch of dynamics, we have to study about an object is in motion without considering the cause of its motion. We are not to deal with what made the body to move. So, kinetics is the branch of dynamics. In this branch of dynamics, we have to study about an object is in motion along with cause of its motions. Means along with means what made the body to move. In kinetics, along with motion, what made the body to move. In kinematics, motion of a body without study of what made the body to. So what made the body to means force is the cause of the motion. We study about the force in 5th chapter known as laws of motions. Okay, students, it is about what? Brief introductions of the chapters. Brief introductions of these chapters. Okay, now we try to understand what is rest and what is motions. That's in order to study about motion in a straight line, first it is better to know what is rest and what is motions. Isn't it? What is meant by rest and motions? What is meant by rest and motions? Rest and motions. So what do you mean by rest? When do we say that body is at rest? Or when do we say that body is in motion? ಯಾವಾಗ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತು ನಿಶ್ಚಲ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವಾಗ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತು ಚಲಿಸುತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ದಟ್ ಎ ಬಾಡಿ ಇಸ್ ಅಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಡು ನಾಟ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಪೊಸಿಷನ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಟೈಮ್. A body is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to surrounding with passage of time. Isn't it? A body is said to be at rest if it do not changes its position with respect to surrounding with passage of time. A body is in motion, a body changes its position with respect to surrounding with passage of time. But when we can say that body is do not changes its position with respect to surrounding with passage of time. Is it possible to say? For example, in order to try to understand this one, consider a book placed on a table. See, a book placed on a table is at rest with respect to viewer from this room. Isn't it? With respect to viewer from this room, book is at rest. Got it? However, when we ourselves station on the surface of the moon, when we ourselves stations on the surface of the moon, you may surprise student. How it is possible? Possible. Apollo mission have made it possible. Isn't it? Apollo mission have made it possible. Apollo mission have made it possible to station ourselves on the water surface of the moon. See, when we station ourselves on the surface of the moon means, if you see the book from the surface of the moon, entire earth is continuously changing its positions. So earth is continuously changing its position means, what about this building? What about this room? What about table? And what about book on that table? Therefore, book is in motion when viewed from the moon. Book is at rest when viewed from this room. Got it? See, book is in motion when viewed from the moon. Book is at rest when viewed from the room. When viewed from this room. ಆ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ನೀವು ಈ ರೂಮಿಂದ ನೋಡಿದರೆ book is at rest. When you view the book from the moon, book is in motions. Therefore, nothing is absolutely at rest. Isn't it? Nothing is at absolutely in motions. That is, the rest or motion depends on the viewer. It is not possible to define rest or motion without the viewer. Got it? See, when you view the book from the moon, book is in motions. At same time, when you view the moon from the book, moon is in state of motions. Therefore, it is not possible to explain rest or motion without viewer, isn't it? Without viewer. That is why nothing is at absolute at rest. Nothing is in absolute motions. Nothing is at absolutely at rest, and nothing is in absolute motions. Got it? Consider one more beautiful example, students. A robber, Darodekora, a robber, suddenly enters into a train moving with a great speed. He brings out his pistol and says, "Don't move, stand still." ಅಲುಗಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ, ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. Then passengers are still with respect to robber means passengers are at rest with respect to robber. But passengers are in motion with respect to what? Railway track. Isn't it? Passengers are at rest with respect to what? Robber. But passengers are in motion with respect to what? Railway track. Therefore, depending upon the viewer, object may be in state of rest or object may be state of what? Motion. Therefore, in order to explain state of rest or state of reference, you have to use what one? Reference. You have to use what? Reference, known as frame of reference. Say, frame of reference. Sarina? See, in frame of reference, we locate the position of an object in terms of 3 coordinate axes. Say x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. X-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Say it is what? X-axis. It is what? Say y-axis. Then it becomes what? Z-axis. Known as Cartesian coordinates or rectangular axis. They are mutually at right angles to each other. The position of an object is represented by means, say P, x coordinates, y coordinates and z coordinates. X coordinate, y coordinate and z coordinates. So what is x here? That is position of the x along the x-axis. It is x coordinates. Got it? Just a minute. See, if P of x comma y comma z is the position of an object represented by means of 3 coordinate axes, then it becomes what? Y coordinates of the body. Say y coordinate of the body. Y coordinate. Got it? So then it becomes what? X coordinate. It is what? X coordinates. Say it is what? X coordinate of the body. It is X coordinates. Got it? It is what? Y coordinates. What about this one, student? Z coordinates. See, Z coordinates. See, that is P of x comma y comma z is what? Position of an object in our frame of reference. Okay, add a clock to this frame of reference. Add a clock to this frame of reference. Add a clock. It is what? A clock to observe the time. Means to know the what? Passage of the time. See, it is a clock. Okay, it is what? A clock. Now it is known as what? Frame of reference. So what is frame of reference? It is called what? Frame of reference. Frame of reference. That is, in a frame of reference, we locate the position of an object in terms of x, y, z axis. Means in terms of x, y, z coordinates, we add the clock to the frame of reference to note down the water passage of the time. To note the water passage of the time. Now we try to understand what is rest and what is motions. Listen, students. It is possible to understand clearly now. See, if a body do not changes any of these 3 coordinates, if a body do not changes any of these 3 coordinates with respect to time as observed in the clock, then object is said to be at rest. Got it? See, if a body do not changes any of these 3 coordinates, if a body do not changes any of these three coordinates with respect to time as observed in the clock, then object is said to be at rest. And if any of these three or all the three coordinates, if any of these three or all the three coordinates changes with respect to time as observed in the clock, then object is said to be in motions. Any doubt? If a body do not changes any of these three coordinates, means these three coordinates remains unchanged with respect to time as observed in this clock, then object is said to be at rest. And if any one or two or all the three coordinates changes with respect to time as observed in the clock, then object is said to be in what? Motions. Got it? Therefore, when we can say body is at rest, now we can understand clearly, students. See, I am going to give the clear-cut definition of rest and motions. Now I am going to give the clear-cut definition of rest and motions. So when a body is at rest, a body is said to be at rest if it do not changes its position with respect to frame of reference with passage of the time. Got it? A body is said to be at rest. Got it? A body is said to be at rest. So what is rest? A body is said to be at rest. Said to be at rest. A body is said to be at rest if it do not changes. If it do not changes. If it do not changes its position. If it do not changes its position with respect to time or with respect to frame of reference. With respect to frame of reference with the passage of time. With the passage of time. Got it? A body is said to be at rest if it do not changes its position with respect to frame of reference with passage of time. Next, a body is said to be in motion. See, a body is said to be in motion. A body is said to be. A body is said to be in motion. A body is said to be in motion if it changes its position. If it changes its position. If it changes its position with respect to time or with respect to frame of reference. With respect to frame of reference with the passage of time. With passage of time. Any doubt? A body is said to be at rest if it do not changes its position with respect to frame of reference with passage of time. A body is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to frame of reference with passage of time. So, I hope that all of you understood this ones. What is meant by rest and what is meant by motions. Now, you may ask doubt, how can we take a frame of reference? Isn't it? Nimge doubt barbodu. How can we take a frame of reference? Remember, there is no any rules. There is no any restrictions in choice of frame of reference, students. There is no any rules. There is no any restrictions in choice of frame of reference. That is, we can choose frame of reference, that is, depending on our own convenience. For example, are you traveling in a moving bus? Are you traveling in a moving bus? If you look the outside, then outside trees, electric poles and rocks are appears to be in motions, isn't it? ನೀವೊಂದು ಚಲಿಸುತ್ತಿರೋ ಬಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಯಾಣಿಸುತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಬಸ್ಸಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ, ನಿಮ್ಗಾಗ ಏನು ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ? ಹೊರಗಿನ ಮರಗಳು, ಹೊರಗಿರುವ ಕಲ್ಲುಗಳು, ಹೊರಗಿರುವ ಇಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಕಂಬಗಳು ಎಲ್ಲ ಚಲಿಸುತ್ತಿದೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ ಆಫ್ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಡ್ ಟು ದಿ ವಾಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಬಸ್. Objects are in state of motions because with respect to trees, electric poles, rocks, bus continuously changes its positions. But with respect to frame of reference attached to the wall of the bus, neighboring passenger is at rest, isn't it? Let us say your neighboring passenger sleeping, ಗಾಢ ನಿದ್ದೆಯಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಅವನು. With respect to you, he is at rest. Means with respect to bus, passenger is at rest. With respect to bus, outside trees appears to be not motion. Therefore, see, while discussing this example, I took a frame of reference attached to the wall of the bus. Got it? In general, in our study students, in general, we take the frame of reference attached to the ground, earth. We take the frame of reference attached to the what? Ground. With respect to earth, we are studying the motion of a body. With respect to earth, we are studying the motion of a body. With respect to earth, we are studying motion of body means, for example, say a car is moving. A car is moving with the speed 60 kilometer per hour. Say car is moving with the speed 60 kilometer per hour. What's the meaning of this? With respect to earth, car is moving at the speed of 60 kilometer per hour. So, auto rickshaw said to be at rest. In auto rickshaw at rest means, auto rickshaw rest allide. Artha, with respect to earth, auto rickshaw is at the state of rest. But car is in motion, means car is moving with speed 60 kilometer per hour. That is with respect to what? Earth. Therefore, in our study, ನಾವು ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡೋದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಇನ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳೇ, ವಿ ಟೇಕ್ ದಿ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ ಆಫ್ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ಡ್ ಟು ದಿ ವಾಟ್? ಅರ್ತ್. ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ಅರ್ತ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇನ್ ಮೋಷನ್. ಅರ್ತ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ 30 kilometer per hour with respect to what? Sun. Got it? Therefore, in order to study the state of rest or motion, we have to choose what? The frame of reference. With respect to that frame of reference, we study the water, whether the object is in state of rest or state of motion. Remember students, we study more about frame of reference in what? Laws of motion chapter. Okay, it is about what? State of rest and state of motions. I hope that all of you are what? Clearly understood what is rest and what is motions. What is rest and what is motions. Okay. Now, see, in order to study the chapter motion in a straight line, it needs to study some of the important terms. Some of the what? Important terms. Okay. First one, particle. First one is what? Particle. Particle. So, what do you mean by particle? Particle. So, what is particle? So, what is particle? What is a particle? So, particles. We know, see, chalk piece is made up of, we say that chalk particles, isn't it? See, for example, chalk piece is made up of what? Chalk particles. See, these are all the what? Chalk particles. So, chalk particles means dust. Chalk dust. Sorting by dust. A one having a negligible size. Isn't it? Size is negligible. Size is negligible. Similarly, what is a particle? It is a point mass. See, a point mass. A point mass. A point mass is called particle. A point mass is called particle. That is, particle is a point mass. A point mass is called particles. That is, particle is a point mass. Particle is a what? A point mass. Means whose size is negligible. Can we take real object as a particle? Can we take real object as a particle? Depending upon the circumstances. Depending on the circumstances, we can take real object as a particles. For example, consider if a car moves hundreds of kilometers. See, distance traveled by the car is hundreds of kilometers. Then what about length of the car when compared to the distance traveled by it? Negligible. Then we can treat motion of a car as motion of a particles. Got it? Motion of a car as motion of particle, because when compared to the size of the car with respect to the length of the car with respect to what distance traveled by it, length of the car is negligible. That is of the order of what? Feet, isn't it? But distance traveled by the car is of the orders of what, students? Hundreds of kilometers. Therefore, length of the car becomes negligible. So we can treat then motion of a car as motion of a particles. What about a swinging pendulum? We know, I think you will already learned about it in your lower classes. Simple pendulum. We know, see, size of the bob used in the simple pendulum is very small, isn't it? When compared to what? Length of the string used to suspend it. See, length of the string used to suspend a bob in a simple pendulum is very large when compared to what? Size of the bob used in the pendulum. Then we can take swinging of a pendulum as a swinging of a particle. Similarly, a spacecraft moving towards the moon. A spacecraft, when a spacecraft moving towards the moon, we know length of the spacecraft is negligible when we consider the distance traveled by it. Therefore, in this situation, in this example, in these illustrations, we can take spacecraft as a particles. Means motion of a spacecraft as a motion of a particle. Therefore, we can take real object as a particle, but depending on what circumstances. Depending on what circumstances. So, okay, it is about what particle. Next, it requires one more important terms to study the motion in a straight line, that is scalars and vectors. Scalars and vectors. So, attempt by scalars and vectors, study more about it in next chapter, students. Why I am explaining this one means, in this chapter we study the what? Distance and speed. These two comes under the categories of the physical quantities known as what? Scalars. We study the what? Velocity, acceleration and displacement. These three are the physical quantities comes under the categories of the physical quantities known as what? Vectors. So, scalars in Kannada, Adisha anta ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, Adisha. Next one is what? Say vectors. So, vectors. We'll study more about it in what? In this chapter, I am going to give the what? A brief idea about what is meant by scalar and what is meant by vectors. Because we'll study more about scalars and vectors in next chapter, motion in a plane. We study the what? Vector algebra. That is triangular law of vector additions, parallelogram law of vector additions, different types of vectors, different types of. We study more about scalars and vectors in next chapter. Why I am explaining this chapter means, that is, in order to study a physical quantities comes in this chapter, it requires brief idea about what? Scalars and vectors. So, what is scalar? A physical quantity having only magnitude. 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 ಅಂದರೆ ಮೌಲ್ಯ ಮಾತ್ರ ಉಂಟು, ದಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ದಿಕ್ಕಿಲ್ಲ. It has only what? Magnitude, but no directions. Scalars are the physical quantity having only magnitude is called scalar. Is called what? Is called a scalar. Means it has only magnitude. It has no directions. Got it? It has no directions. What about it one? A physical quantity. See, a physical quantity having both magnitude and directions. Having both magnitude and directions. Having both magnitude and directions. Having both magnitude directions is called a vector. Is called a vector. Got it? See, in this chapter study the distance and speed are scalars, as scalars. So, in this chapter study the displacement, velocity and accelerations. These three are what? Vectors. See, scalars are the physical quantity having only magnitude is called scalars. Means a physical quantity having only magnitude but no directions. We can add it, but no directions. But no directions. Dikkilla is called what? Scalars. Got it? In Kannada it is known as Adisha. You may learn about it in your lower classes. In Kannada medium, Adisha. So what about vector? A physical quantity having both magnitude and directions is called vectors. Means scalars are expressed only in terms of what? Numerical values with unit. Unit is very important. To denote the physical quantity, unit is very, very important. If you not write the unit, then the term becomes meaningless. Got it? See, length of the room is 5 meter. Meter stands for unit here. Got it? Unit is very important. If you not write the unit, we lose guarantee 1 mark. No doubt at all. Or no need to give mark to you. That is, whenever you write any physical quantity, we should write unit along with its numerical values. Next, see, vectors are expressed both in terms of numerical values and direction, students. Got it? So, in this chapter, we study the what? Distance and speed as the scalar. That is along a 1 dimensions. So, in next chapter, motion in a plane, we study the velocity accelerations in a plane means 2 dimensions. In such a cases, we represent the directions of the vector by putting what? Unit vector. Okay, we'll study more about scalars and vectors in the next chapter, motion in a plane. Why I'm explaining means, in order to understand the physical quantities comes in this chapter, we should know a brief knowledge of scalars and vector. That is why I'm explained here. Okay, students, now I'm going to discuss the what? 3 important terms of the chapter. First one, distance. Next one, position. And third one, what? Displacement. Before that, what is meant by motion in a straight lines? Saralareka patadalli vastuvina chalane endareenu? First you try to understand this. For example, assume here, I am going to drop the chalk piece. See, I am going to drop the water chalk piece from certain height. It falls in vertically downward. Isn't it? When you drop the chalk piece from a certain height, it falls vertically downward. See, if you drop the chalk piece from this point, it falls vertically downward means it falls vertically downward because due to gravitational force of attraction by the earth. ಭೂಮಿ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನು ತನ್ನ ಕೇಂದ್ರದ ಕಡೆಗೆ ನೇರವಾಗಿ ಕೆಳಮುಖದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕರ್ಷಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. ವಿತ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ನೋನ್ ಆಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಗ್ರಾವಿಟೇಷನಲ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಟ್ರಾಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. Isn't it? ಗುರುತ್ವಾಕರ್ಷಣ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರ in Kannada. See, when a body falls freely, in order to specify the position of the body at any instant of time, it requires only one axis. We can say that. So, at time t is equal to 0 second, means initially body is at a height of 10 meter from the ground. See, 10 meter from the ground means in order to specify the position of the body, it requires only one axis. After the time, say, after the time 1 second, it is at a height of 1 meter from the ground. Isn't it? That is, when a body falls freely, it requires only what? One axis to specify the position of the object. One more example. Consider a bus started its motion from the Udupi. Okay. At time t is equal to 0 seconds. After traveling about 40 to 45 kilometers, it reaches the Mangalore. Say Mangalore. During the motion of the bus, in order to specify its position, only one axis is enough to specify its position, isn't it? Only one axis is enough to specify the position of the bus when it is moving from Udupi to Kundapur or Udupi to Mangalore. Therefore, this motion of the bus along a straight road is known as motion in a straight line. So what is meant by motion in a straight line, students? A body is said to be in motion along a straight line. A body is said to be in motion along a straight line, then it requires only one axis to specify its position during its motions. Got it? A body is said to be in motion along a straight line. A body is said to be in motion along a straight line. It requires only one axis to specify its positions. It requires only one axis, either y-axis. See, when you explain the falling of freely falling body, it requires what? Y-axis for sake of our convenience. If a bus is traveling along a horizontal road, we use the what? X-axis. Isn't it? See, it requires only one axis. So it is called motion in a straight line. It's also called one-dimensional motions. It's also called one-dimensional motions. It's called one-dimension motion. It's called one-dimension motion. What is meant by one-dimension motion? Dimension. In the beginning of today's class, I discussed frame of reference. Isn't it? Just before we discussed, just before. That is, position of the object is represented by x, y, z coordinates. Isn't it? If only x changes, then said to be in one-dimensional motions. If both x and y changes, see, if you throw the body to vertically, if you throw the body into space, making an angle, got it? Then, see, say, initial position is towards, say, origin. So, after the time t second, see, it is the path of the body, parabola, you know, parabola in Kannada, isn't it? So, it is what? Y-axis. It is what? X-axis. See, at any instant of time, it requires so many axes to specify position. Two axes. Andre, ಆರಂಭ ಬಿಂದುವಿನಿಂದ ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟು ದೂರಕ್ಕೆ ಚಲಿಸಿತು ಹಾಗೂ ಅದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಎತ್ತರದಲ್ಲಿದೆ. At any instant of time, it requires what? Two axes. Say, let P of x, y be the position of the body at any instant of time t. See, in order to specify the position of the body at P, it requires two axes. Means, what is the distance traveled by the body along x-axis? And what is the distance traveled by the body along y-axis? Therefore, it requires two axes, means it is called what? Two-dimensional motions, isn't it? It is called what? Two-dimensional motions. So, it is the example for two-dimensional motions known as projectile motions, circular motions. See, circular motion. It is what? These two are examples. Circular motion means motion in a plane. So, study about two-dimensional motions in next chapter. Name of the chapter itself is what, student? Motion in a plane. If all the three coordinate changes x, y, z, then such a type of motion is known as what? Three-dimensional motions. Got the idea about what is motion in a straight line? A body is said to be in motion in a straight line. A body is said to be in motion in a straight line if it requires only one axis to specify its position during its motions. Sarina, a body is said to be in. A body is said to be in. A body is said to be in. Said to be in one dimension motion if it requires. If it requires only one axis. Only one axis to specify its positions. To specify its position. To specify its position. To specify its position during its motions. ಅದು ಚಲಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವಾಗ, during its motion at any instant of time. at any instant of time. At any instant of time is called one-dimensional motions or motion in a straight line. Is called one-dimensional motions or motion in a straight line. Is also called, student, rectilinear motions. Is also known as what? Rectilinear motions. Motion in a straight line is also known as what? Rectilinear motions. Rectilinear motions. Rectilinear refers to what? Straight lines. It is about what, student? Motion in a straight line. Example for motion in a straight line. If question may ask in board examinations, what is motion in a straight line? Or what is one-dimensional motions? Or what is rectilinear motions? Got it? See, a body is said to be in one-dimensional motions, or a body is said to be in a straight line motions if it requires only one axis to specify its position during its motion at any instant of time. So example for the one-dimensional motion is, that is freely falling body. Freely falling body means motion of a freely falling body. Freely falling body is a good example for what? One-dimensional motion, because we know, we'll study about this later, okay? Same chapters. See, that is when you drop the body from certain height, it falls in vertically downward due to the gravitational force of attraction by the earth. Therefore, this is a good example for motion in a straight line, students. Motion in a straight line. Okay. Now I am going to discuss next topic of the chapters, distance. See, three important topics try to study. First one, distance. Second one, position. Third one, displacement. Distance, position, displacement. First we try to understand what is distance. What is distance? In Kannada, ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳೇ ದೂರ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಚಲಿಸಿದ ದೂರ ಇನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ, ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ಡ್. ಚಲಿಸಿದ ದೂರ ಅಥವಾ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್? ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್, ಸರ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಎ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ಯು ಟು ರೀಚ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಫ್ರಾಮ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹೋಮ್? ನೀನು ಈ ಕಾಲೇಜನ್ನು ತಲುಪಲು ನಿನ್ನ ಮನೆಯಿಂದ ಚಲಿಸಿದ ದೂರ ಎಷ್ಟು? ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅನ್ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೆಡ್. ಅವನು ನಿರೀಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. he start to calculate the distance traveled by him to reach this college from the home. Okay, say this is home. Okay, when his parents are thrown out from his home to go college, parents ಮನೆಯಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ದೂಡಿದ ನಂತರ, ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಮರಯ್ಯ ನೀನು, ಕಾಲೇಜಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಮರಯ್ಯ ಅಂತ ದೂಡಿದ ನಂತರ ಅವ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಈ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ಡ್ ಎ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ 50 ಮೀಟರ್ ವಿದಿನ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಂಪೌಂಡ್. Okay, and traveled along a road, say straight road, say of length about 150 meter, and he traveled along a curved road. Okay, it is it is not what in plane, it is what curved road. Road is no need to be always straight line, isn't it? So road may be what, zigzag or curved. Okay, what it may be. See, he traveled along a curved road, say of length, say about 300 meters. About what? It traveled along what? Curved road. No need to be. Road is always straight line, depending upon the what? Geometry, isn't it? See, 300 meters. And after again he traveled along a straight road, say of length 200 meters. 300, 150. Again say 550 meters, say 550 meters. So finally reached the what, student? College. Simple examples. College. Got it? See, student travel distance of 50 meter within compound and traveled along a straight line, means straight road of length 150 meter and along a curved road of length 300 meters. And he walked along a straight road of length, say 550 meter. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಉದ್ದ ಇರಲಿ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಡೌಟ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಸರ್ 150 ಅಷ್ಟಾದರೆ 550 ಇಷ್ಟೇನೆ ಅಂತ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಸೋ ಬ್ರಿಲಿಯಂಟ್, ಸೊ ಅಲ್ವಾ. 150ನೇ ಅಷ್ಟಾದ ಸರ್ 550 ಇಷ್ಟೇನಂತ ಓಕೆ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ 550 ಮೀಟರ್ ಸೇ ದೆನ್ ಯು ರೀಚ್ ದಿ ಕಾಲೇಜ್. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಟು ರೀಚ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್? What distance traveled by this student to reach college? He had to add up. See, he traveled path of length first 50 meter within compound, isn't it? Again 150 meter along a straight road, 300 meter along curved road, and 550 meters. So then what is the total length of the path traveled by the student? ಅವನಿದು ನಿಜವಾಗಿ ಕ್ರಮಿಸಿದ ಪಥ. ನೀವು ಕೇಬಲ್ ಸರ್ ವೈ ನಾಟ್ ಈ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ಡ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪಾತ್? ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ವೇ, ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಪಾತ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಮೇ ಬಿ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಪಾಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್, ಲೇಕ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್, ಆರ್ ರಿವರ್ ಮೇ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್. ಕಾಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕೆರೆ ಇದ್ದಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಅಡಚಣೆ ಇದ್ದಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಪಾತ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕರ್ವ್ಡ್ ಪಾತ್. ಸಿ ದೆನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಟ್ರಾವೆಲ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದಿ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಟು ರೀಚ್ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಹೋಮ್ ಈಸ್ 50 plus 150, 200, sorry, correct, 200 plus 300, 500, 550, 1050 meters. See, distance traveled by the student to reach college is given by student 1050 meter, 1 kilometer 50 meters. How can we get this? By adding length of the path traveled by the student, isn't it? How can we get the distance traveled by student is 1050 meter to reach college from his home? By adding length of the actual path. Good word. Length of the what? Actual path. ನಿಜವಾಗಿ ಅವನು ಕ್ರಮಿಸಿದ ಪಥದ ಉದ್ದ. ನಿಜವಾಗಿ ಅವನು ಕ್ರಮಿಸಿದ ಪಥದ ಉದ್ದ. Isn't it? It is called distance. So what is distance? Actual length of the path. Actual length of the path. Say actual length of the path. Actual length of the path traversed by a body or traveled by a body. Actual length of the path traveled by a particle. Traveled by a particles or traveled by a particle is called distance. Is called distance. Got it? Actual length of the path traveled by a body is called what, student? Distance. Is called distance. See, assume if student return back to home via same way, ಅದೇ ಪಥದಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ವಾಪಸ್ ಅವನ ಮನೆಗೆ ಬಂದ, then what is the total distance traveled by the student during his whole journey? 1050 to 1050 row motions. So 2200 meters. How can we get distance 2200 meter during his whole journey? By adding. That is 50, 150, 300, 550. When you're going from the home to college, when you're going from what? Home to college. Again, if you return back to the home, 550, 300, 150, 50. That is 2 into 1050. You may ask doubt. Sir, if you're traveling from home to the college, distance increases. When you're traveling from the college to home, distance decreases, sir. If you return back to the home, then total distance traveled by the student will become 0 meter. No. Just now I discussed student. Scalar. What is scalar? A physical quantity having only magnitude. It has no directions. Distance is the good example for scalar. Distance is the good example for what? Scalar. Distance is what? Good example for scalar. Therefore, distance never be negative. For a moving body, distance never be negative, distance never be zero. Distance is always positive. Hence, we take the distance as what? Scalar. Because it has no direction. Distance never be negative and zero. Distance is always what? Positive. Hence, distance is what? Scalar. Therefore, even if return back to the home from the college via same way, distance never reduces to zero. Why? My definition, see, actual length of the path traveled by a particle is called distance. ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತು ನಿಜವಾಗಿ ಕ್ರಮಿಸಿದ ಪಥದ ಉದ್ದ. ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತು ನಿಜವಾಗಿ ಕ್ರಮಿಸಿದ ಪಥದ ಉದ್ದವೇ ಆ ವಸ್ತು ಚಲಿಸಿದ ದೂರ. ದೂರ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿ ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಮೆಜರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್? ಲೆಂತ್. ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್? ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಮೆಜರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್? ಲೆಂತ್. ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಮಾನ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಜರ್ಮೆಂಟ್. Standard of measurement. So dimension of the distance, because it is length. So dimension in Kannada ayama, that is what? L. That is m to the power of 0, no mass in distance, only L, L to the power of 1, or we can say simply L, or T to the power of 0, no time, isn't it? That is dimension is m to the power of 0, L, T to the power of 0. It is about what, student? Distance. Got it? So far studied lot, student. In this session we studied lot. First starting from the what? I am explained brief about what is physics, isn't it? Next, what are the two classes of physics? I started chapter motion in straight line. I explained clear cut idea about what? Rest and motion, isn't it? And also I am discussed about what? Brief about scalars and vectors, and discussed distance. Any doubt? I hope that all of you understood clearly, students. Still, if you have any doubt, feel free to ask with your respective subject lecturers. Okay? Thank you. One and all.